The entire hospital corridor fell silent, as the 5-year-old twins' screams echoed through the walls. Security couldn't calm them. Nurses tried everything. Even their feared Mafia boss father stood helpless, until a pregnant Omega, waiting for his own appointment, did something that changed for lives forever. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back 24 hours. The morning sun filtered through the thin curtains of a small studio apartment. Kai sat on the edge of his bed, one hand resting on his round belly, 8 months pregnant and completely alone. He whispered softly to his unborn child, "Good morning, little one. It's just you and me today, just like every day." Kai worked as a kindergarten teacher, a job he loved despite the long hours and modest pay. Children had always been his sanctuary, his joy, but in 3 weeks he'd have to take leave, and the thought of managing alone terrified him. 6 months ago, his alpha partner had walked out. The moment Kai told him about the pregnancy, everything changed. "I'm not ready for this," his ex had said coldly. "You're on your own. No calls, no support, nothing." Kai pushed the memories aside. He had a doctor's appointment today at St. Victoria Hospital. Monthly checkup. Standard procedure. He dressed slowly, careful with his balance, and headed out the door. Across the city, in a mansion that resembled a fortress, a very different morning was unfolding. Dante Rossi stood in his office, jaw clenched, phone pressed to his ear. "I don't care what excuse you have. The meeting is in 2 hours. Be there." He was the head of the Rossi family. Powerful, feared, untouchable. But right now, he was just a father dealing with an impossible situation. From down the hallway came the sound he dreaded most, crying. Not just any crying. The desperate, heartbroken sobs of his 5-year-old twin daughters, Emma and Mia. Dante ended the call and walked swiftly toward their bedroom. His head of security, Marco, stood outside the door looking exhausted. "Boss, they won't let anyone near them, not even the nanny." Dante sighed and pushed the door open. 2 identical girls sat on the floor, tears streaming down their faces, clutching a faded blanket. "Papa, don't go," Emma sobbed. "We'll be good, we promise," Mia added, her voice breaking. Dante knelt down, his expression softening in a way no one else ever saw. "I have to go to a meeting, Piccolinas, but I'll be back soon." "You always say that," Emma cried. Dante's heart twisted. 3 years. 3 years since their mother had passed during childbirth. 3 years of his daughters refusing to bond with anyone else. Therapists called it severe attachment trauma. Dante called it his greatest failure. He couldn't protect their mother, and now he couldn't even give them stability. "Get the car ready," Dante told Marco quietly. "We're taking them with us to the hospital, boss. They have their therapy appointment today anyway. We'll go early. Maybe, just maybe, the child psychologist could help." St. Victoria Hospital was one of the most prestigious medical centers in the city. Clean, quiet, efficient. Kai checked in at the reception desk for his prenatal appointment. The waiting area was spacious, divided into sections. Kai found a seat near the window away from the crowd. He pulled out a small book and began to read, occasionally glancing at the clock. 15 minutes later, the atmosphere shifted. The main doors opened, and a wave of tension rolled through the room. Dante Rossi entered, flanked by 2 bodyguards. His presence commanded attention. Tall, sharp suit, cold eyes, and clinging to each of his hands were 2 small girls, their faces red and puffy from crying. People whispered, "That's Dante Rossi, the Mafia boss. What's he doing here?" Dante ignored them all. He walked to the private section reserved for high-profile patients. Emma and Mia sat stiffly on either side of their father. Still sniffling, Kai glanced up from his book, his Omega instincts immediately picking up on the distress of the children. He frowned softly. Those poor girls. Then something strange happened. Both twins suddenly stopped crying. At the exact same moment, they turned their heads slowly, in perfect sync, toward Kai's direction. Emma's eyes widened. Mia whispered, "Do you smell that?" Dante noticed immediately. His daughters hadn't reacted to anyone in years. "What is it?" he asked, alert. But the twins didn't answer. They just stared across the waiting room at the pregnant Omega sitting alone by the window. A nurse approached Dante. "Mr. Rossi, the doctor will see you now. Please follow me to the consultation room." Dante stood, but his daughters didn't move. "Emma, Mia, come papa, who is that?" Emma pointed directly at Kai. Dante followed her gaze. His eyes landed on the Omega, pregnant, alone, reading quietly, nothing special, and yet Dante felt something stir in his chest. Something he hadn't felt in 3 years. His alpha instincts hummed faintly. He shook it off. "No one important. Let's go." Reluctantly, the twins followed. But as they disappeared down the hallway, both girls kept looking back. The consultation room was private and soundproof. Dr. Ellison, a kind woman in her 50s, greeted them warmly. "Hello, Emma. Hello, Mia. How are we feeling today?" The twins didn't respond. Dr. Ellison had been working with them for 6 months. Progress was slow. "Mr. Rossi, I'd like to speak with the girls alone for a bit. Would that be all right?" Dante hesitated. His phone buzzed. The meeting, he was already late. "Marco will stay with them," Dante said. "Papa, no." Mia grabbed his hand. "I'll be right outside," Dante promised, though he knew it was a lie. He had to take this call. Business couldn't wait. Dante stepped into the hallway and walked toward a private meeting room. The hospital had arranged for him. 5 minutes passed, then 10 back in the consultation room. Emma started getting anxious. "Where's Papa?" "He said he'd be right outside," Dr. Ellison reassured. But Emma didn't believe her. She stood up abruptly. "I want Papa, sweetie. I want Papa." Mia joined in, "Papa." Marco tried to calm them, but it was no use. The twins bolted out of the room. "Papa, Papa," they screamed. Running down the hallway, nurses looked up in alarm. Security moved in, but the girls were hysterical now, kicking, screaming, sobbing uncontrollably. "Don't touch us. We want our Papa." The commotion spread through the entire wing. Kai heard the screaming from the waiting room. He stood up, concerned. A nurse ran past. "Someone call Mr. Rossi. The twins are having a breakdown." Kai's heart clenched. Those little girls, he shouldn't get involved. He didn't know them. This wasn't his business, but his Omega instincts were screaming at him. Pups in distress before he could think. Kai was walking toward the noise. He rounded the corner and saw them, 2 tiny girls, surrounded by adults, completely inconsolable. A bodyguard was trying to hold them back gently, but they were thrashing. "Please, young missus, calm down." Kai stepped forward. "Excuse me." Marco turned, eyes sharp. "Sir, step back. This is a private matter." "I'm a kindergarten teacher," Kai said softly. "I'm good with children. Please, let me try." Marco hesitated, but the twins were getting worse. "Fine, but don't touch them." Kai knelt down slowly, his pregnant belly making it awkward. He was a few feet away from the girls. "Hey, sweethearts," he said gently. Both twins froze. "I know you're scared. I know you want your Papa." Emma's lip trembled. "But screaming won't bring him faster." "You know what will?" Mia sniffled. "What?" Kai smiled. "Being brave? Being strong? So when he comes back, he sees how amazing you are." Emma wiped her eyes. "Can I come closer?" Kai asked, slowly. He extended his hand, and then Emma reached out. Her tiny fingers brushed against Kai's palm, and she froze completely. Mia crawled forward, leaning into Kai's space, and inhaled deeply near his neck. The entire hallway fell silent. Both twins whispered at the same time, "You smell like Mama." But what the twins didn't know was that their father was watching everything. What happens next will change all of their lives forever. Part 2. In the private meeting room, Dante sat with his phone on speaker, half listening to his associate drone on about territory disputes, but his attention was elsewhere. On the security monitor mounted on the wall, the hospital's hallway camera feed showed everything. His daughters, the chaos, the bodyguards' failed attempts, and then the Omega. Dante watched as the pregnant stranger knelt down with difficulty, watched as his daughters, who hadn't let anyone close in 3 years, reached out to him, watched as they inhaled his scent, like they were starving for it, and then he heard it through the monitors. "Audio, you smell like Mama." Dante's hand clenched into a fist. His alpha instincts roared to life. That scent, even through the screen, even without being there. Something in him recognized it. "Boss, you still there?" The voice on the phone asked. Dante ended the call without a word. He stood, his entire body tense, and walked out of the room with purpose. Dante reached the hallway in less than a minute. The scene before him was surreal. His daughters, Emma and Mia, were sitting peacefully in the Omega's lap. No tears, no screaming, just calm. Emma had her head resting against Kai's shoulder. Mia was holding his hand, tracing the lines on his palm with her tiny finger. Kai was singing softly. "A lullaby? Hush now, little stars. The night will keep you safe. Close your eyes, drift away to a gentle, warm place." Dante's chest tightened. He hadn't heard that song in 3 years. His late wife used to sing it. Marco noticed. Dante first and straightened. Boss Kai looked up, startled. And for the first time, their eyes met. Kai's breath caught. The man standing before him was tall, broad-shouldered, and radiated authority. But it was his eyes that struck Kai the most. Dark, intense, and fixed entirely on him. Dante's alpha pheromones flooded the space instinctively, an automatic response to an Omega in his proximity. Kai felt dizzy. His hand went to his belly protectively. I'm sorry," Kai stammered. "They were upset, and I just thought, don't move." Dante's voice was low, commanding. Kai froze. Dante approached slowly, and Kai's heart raced, but Dante wasn't looking at him. He was looking at his daughters. Emma blinked up at her father sleepily. Papa, you came back. I told you I would. Mia tugged on Kai's sleeve. Can he stay? Papa, please. Dante's gaze shifted back to Kai. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Dante crouched down to eye level with the Omega. What's your name? Kai, Dante repeated, as if testing the weight of it. You're pregnant? Yes, alone. Kai hesitated, then nodded. Dante's jaw tightened. He stood and addressed Marco. Take the girls to the car. I need to speak with him, Papa. No. Emma clung to Kai. We want to stay with him. Mia added. Dante's expression softened just slightly. You'll see him again, I promise. Something in his tone made the twins trust him. Reluctantly, they let go, as Marco led them away. Both girls kept looking back at Kai. And Kai felt his heart breaking a little once they were alone. Dante crossed his arms. How did you do that? Kai blinked. Do what? Calm them. No one has been able to do that. Not therapists. Not family. No one. Kai shifted uncomfortably. I don't know. I'm a teacher. I work with children. Maybe they just needed someone who wasn't intimidating. Dante's lips twitched, almost a smile. You think I'm intimidating? You're standing over me like you're about to interrogate me. So yes. Dante took a step back. Fair silence stretched between them. Then Dante spoke again, his tone serious. My daughters lost their mother 3 years ago. Since then, they've refused to bond with anyone. They have severe attachment issues. I've hired the best therapists, the best nannies. Nothing works. Kai's expression softened. I'm sorry. But today, they responded to you. In under 5 minutes, you did what no one else could. Kai didn't know what to say. Dante continued. I'll pay you. Whatever you want. Be their nanny. Kai's eyes widened. What? Live in my home? Take care of them. Help them heal. I can't. Why not? Kai gestured to his belly. I'm about to have my own baby. I need stability, not... He trailed off. Not what? Kai looked away. Not a life surrounded by danger. Dante's eyes narrowed. You know who I am. Everyone knows who you are, and yet you still helped my daughters. They're children, Kai said simply. I couldn't just walk away. Dante studied him for a long moment. Then he pulled out a business card and held it out. Think about it. When you're ready, call me. Kai stared at the card but didn't take it. Dante set it on the chair beside him. For what it's worth, Dante added, I would never let anything happen to you, or your child. And with that, he turned and walked away. Kai sat there trembling slightly, staring at the card. 3 days passed. Kai tried to forget about the encounter. He went back to work, attended his prenatal classes, prepared his small apartment for the baby's arrival. But every night, he thought about those 2 little girls, their tears, their desperation, and the way they looked at him like he was something precious. You smell like mama, on the 4th day. Kai's landlord knocked on his door. Rent's going up next month, the man said gruffly. New policy. Kai's stomach dropped. By how much? 300 more. I can't afford that, the landlord shrugged. Then you've got 30 days to move out. The door closed. Kai sat down heavily, hand on his belly. He looked at the business card sitting on his kitchen counter. He'd kept it. He didn't know why. His phone rang. Unknown number. Kai answered hesitantly. Hello, Kai. It was a small voice. Emma. Kai asked, surprised. We miss you, the little girl whispered. Can you come see us? Kai's throat tightened. Sweetheart, please. Mia's voice joined in. They were on speaker. We've been good. We promise. In the background, Kai heard Dante's voice. Girls, give me the phone. There was shuffling. Then Dante's low tone came through. I apologize. They took my phone. It's okay, Kai said softly. Have you thought about my offer? Kai closed his eyes. Stability, safety, a place for his child, and 2 little girls who needed him. If I say yes, Kai began, it's only temporary. Just until they adjust. Agreed, and I have conditions. Name them. I need my own space. And I won't be involved in your business. Done. Kai took a shaky breath. Okay, I'll do it. There was a pause. Then Dante's voice, quieter now. Thank you. 2 days later, a black car arrived at Kai's apartment. Marco stepped out. Mr. Rossi sent me. I'll help with your things. Kai had only 2 suitcases. Everything he owned fit into 2 bags. The drive to the Rossi estate was silent. When they arrived, Kai's breath caught. The mansion was enormous, gated, guarded, but inside, it was warm. Dante met him at the entrance. Welcome. Before Kai could respond, 2 small blurs came running. Kai. Emma and Mia crashed into him, hugging his legs. Kai laughed, steadying himself. Hey, sweethearts, you're really staying? Mia asked, eyes wide. For a while, Yes, forever, Emma asked hopefully. Kai glanced at Dante, who was watching quietly. We'll see, Kai said gently. Dante gestured toward the staircase. I'll show you to your room. Kai's room was larger than his entire apartment. A king-size bed, a private bathroom, a reading nook by the window. If you need anything, let Marco know, Dante said. This is too much, it's what you deserve. Kai looked at him, surprised. Dante's expression was unreadable. The girls will want to show you their room, Dante continued. Be prepared. They've been decorating all morning. Right on cue, Emma and Mia grabbed Kai's hands. Come see, come see. They dragged him down the hall. Their bedroom was filled with dolls, books, and drawings. On the wall was a new picture for stick figures. A tall one labeled Papa, two small ones labeled Emma and Mia, and one with a round belly labeled Kai. Kai's eyes stung. Do you like it? Mia asked nervously. Kai knelt down and hugged them both. I love it. Kai has stepped into a world he never imagined. But as he settles into the Rossi mansion, something unexpected begins to grow. Not just between him and the twins, but between him and their father. What happens when his past comes back to haunt him? Part 3. The first week passed like a dream. Every morning, Kai woke to the sound of small feet padding down the hallway. Emma and Mia would peek into his room, whispering loudly, Is he awake? Should we check? Kai would smile and sit up. I'm awake. And they'd squeal. Running to jump on his bed. Breakfast became a ritual. Kai cooked simple meals, pancakes, eggs, fresh fruit. The twins would chatter endlessly, telling him about their dreams, their toys, their favorite colors. Dante would appear occasionally, always dressed sharply, always heading out to meetings, but he'd pause, watch from the doorway as Kai laughed with his daughters, and something in his expression would soften. One morning, Emma asked, Kai, will you teach us to paint? I'd love to. They spent the afternoon in the art room, a space Dante had set up, but the twins had never used. Kai showed them how to mix colors, how to make gentle strokes. Mia painted a rainbow. Emma painted a family again. 4 figures. Kai felt his chest tighten every time he saw it. Dante had cameras throughout the mansion, security purposes, but lately he found himself watching the art room feed more than any other. Kai was good with the girls. Patient, kind, but more than that, Kai seemed happy despite everything he'd clearly been through. Despite being pregnant and alone, he smiled genuinely around Emma and Mia. Dante hadn't seen his daughters this joyful in years. Marco entered the office. Boss, the meeting with the Castellano family is in an hour. Dante didn't look away from the screen. Reschedule it. Marco blinked. Sir. I said reschedule. For the first time in 3 years, Dante left work early. He came home to the sound of laughter in the living room. Kai was reading a story to the twins. They were curled up on either side of him, eyes wide with wonder. Dante stood in the doorway. Unnoticed, Kai's voice was soothing as he read, animated, full of warmth, and for just a moment, Dante allowed himself to imagine a life where this was normal, a life where coming home meant this. Emma noticed him first. Papa, you're home early. Kai looked up, surprised. Their eyes met, and Dante felt that pull again, stronger this time. I finished early, Dante said simply. Sit with us. Mia patted the couch. Dante hesitated, but Kai shifted, making space. And so Dante sat. Close enough that their shoulders almost touched, close enough to catch Kai's scent, vanilla and lavender, calming, intoxicating. Dante's alpha hummed with approval that night. Kai woke to screaming. He bolted upright, heart racing. The twins. He rushed down the hallway and burst into their room. Emma and Mia were tangled in their blankets, crying in their sleep. No, don't go. Mama, don't leave. Kai's heart broke. He climbed into the bed between them, gathering them close. I'm here. You're safe. Slowly, they calmed, but they didn't let go. Kai stayed, holding them, singing the lullaby until they drifted back to sleep. He didn't notice Dante standing in the doorway watching when Kai finally tried to slip out of the bed. Dante's voice stopped him. Stay. Kai turned, startled. Dante stepped inside. They sleep better when you're close. I don't want to overstep your knot. Dante sat in the armchair near the bed. I used to sit here, he said quietly. Every night for a year after she died, I'd watch them sleep, make sure they were breathing. Kai's expression softened. You're a good father, Dante looked at him. I try, but it's not enough. It is, Kai insisted. They love you so much. They love you too. The words hung in the air. Kai looked away, unsure how to respond. Get some rest, Dante said, standing. I'll keep watch tonight. And he did, all night. Dante sat in that chair watching over his daughters and the Omega, who'd brought light back into their lives a few days later. Kai realized the kitchen was running low on supplies. I can send someone, Marco offered. No, I'd like to go myself, Kai said. I need some fresh air, Dante overheard. I'll take you. Kai blinked. You don't have to, I want to. The twins begged to come, and Dante couldn't say no. So the four of them went to the market together. It was strange. Dante Rossi, feared Mafia boss, pushing a shopping cart while his daughters picked out fruits. Kai walked beside him. Adding items to the list, people stared, but Dante didn't care. At one point, Emma tugged on Kai's hand. Can we get cookies? Only if you eat your vegetables at dinner. Deal. Mia turned to Dante. Papa Kai said we can have cookies. Dante raised an eyebrow at Kai. Did he now? Kai shrugged, smiling. Positive reinforcement. Dante found himself smiling back. At the checkout, the cashier looked between them. You have a beautiful family, she said warmly. Kai flushed. Oh, we're not, thank you, Dante interrupted smoothly. Kai stared at him. Dante didn't elaborate. On the drive home, Emma fell asleep against Kai's shoulder. Mia was nodding off too. Dante glanced in the rear view mirror. The sight made his chest ache. This was what he wanted, not just for his daughters, for himself. That evening, after the twins were in bed, Kai found Dante in his study. Can I talk to you? Dante looked up from his paperwork. Of course, Kai stepped inside, closing the door. Today at the store. Why did you say that? Say what? When she called us a family, Dante set down his pen. Because that's what it felt like. Kai's breath hitched. Dante stood. Walking around the desk, I know this arrangement was supposed to be temporary, Dante continued, but I don't want it to be. Dante, let me finish. His voice was firm but not unkind. I see the way my daughters look at you. Like you hung the stars. And I see the way you care for them. Like they're your own. Kai's eyes were shining. They feel like they are. Then stay. Not as a nanny. As part of this family, I can't. Why not? Because I'm broken. Kai's voice cracked. I was abandoned. Left to raise a child alone. I don't know how to trust someone not to leave again. Dante stepped closer. I'm not him. You don't know that? Yes, I do. Dante's hand reached out, gently cupping Kai's face. I've spent 3 years shutting everyone out. But you walked in and changed everything. You brought my daughters back to life. And you, he paused, you make me feel alive again. Kai's tears spilled over. I'm scared. So am I, Dante admitted. But I want to try. If you'll let me. Kai closed his eyes and leaned into Dante's touch. Okay, let's try. But peace never lasted long in Dante's world. The next morning, Kai was in the garden with the twins when Marco approached. Expression grim. Boss needs you inside now. Kai's stomach dropped. What's wrong? Just go. Kai hurried to Dante's office. Dante was on the phone, his tone icy. If you come near my family, I will end you. Do you understand? He hung up and looked at Kai. What happened? Kai asked. Dante hesitated, then handed him his phone. On the screen was a photo of Kai, taken yesterday at the market, with a message underneath. Nice family you've got there. Rossi. Would be a shame if something happened to them. Kai's blood ran cold. Who rival family? Dante said. They know you're here, and they'll use you to get to me. Kai's hands trembled. Maybe I should leave. No. Dante's voice was absolute. You're not leaving. I'll handle this. But the twins will be protected. You all will. Dante pulled Kai close. I told you, I won't let anything happen to you. And Kai wanted to believe him, but deep down, he knew the danger was just beginning. Kai and Dante have opened their hearts to each other. But in Dante's world, love is a weakness enemies will exploit. And when the past comes knocking, Kai will have to make an impossible choice. Part 4. The mansion became a fortress overnight. Extra guards were stationed at every entrance. Security cameras were upgraded. No one entered or left without clearance. Kai hated it. The twins noticed the change immediately. Why can't we go to the park? Emma asked. Not today, sweethearts, Kai said gently. But you promised. Mia's lip trembled. Kai knelt down. I know, I'm sorry. But we'll have fun inside, okay? We can build a fort. The girls brightened a little, but Kai could see the confusion in their eyes. Dante watched from the hallway, guilt gnawing at him. This was his world. Dangerous, suffocating. And he'd dragged Kai and his unborn child into it. Later that night, Kai found Dante in his study, staring at security feeds. You haven't slept, Kai observed. Can't? Kai walked over and gently closed the laptop. You need to rest. Dante looked up at him, exhaustion clear in his eyes. I can't protect you if I'm not vigilant. You can't protect us if you collapse either. Dante's jaw tightened. Kai reached out, taking Dante's hand. We're safe here. You've made sure of that. Now come to bed. Dante let himself be led. For the first time in days, he slept. With Kai beside him, 3 days into lockdown, the doorbell rang. Marco checked the cameras and frowned. Boss, there's someone at the gate? Says he knows Kai. Dante's eyes sharpened. Who? He gave his name as Adrian. In the living room, Kai froze. Adrian, his ex, the alpha who abandoned him. Dante noticed Kai's reaction immediately. Who is he? Kai's voice was barely a whisper. The father of my baby? Dante's expression darkened. He's not coming in. Wait, Kai said quickly. Let me talk to him. Maybe he just what? Wants to make amends after abandoning you? Kai flinched. Dante softened slightly. I'm sorry, but I don't trust him. Neither do I, Kai admitted, but I need to know what he wants. After a tense pause, Dante nodded. Fine, but I'm coming with you. And he stays outside the gate. Adrian stood on the other side of the iron gate, looking nervous. He was tall, well-dressed, and handsome in a conventional way. But when Kai saw him, all he felt was anger. What do you want? Kai asked coldly. Adrian's eyes went to Kai's belly. I heard you were living here. With him, he nodded toward Dante. That's none of your business. Kai, please. I made a mistake. I want to make things right. Kai laughed bitterly. Now you want to make things right. Where were you 6 months ago? Where were you when I was terrified and alone? I panicked. I wasn't ready, and you think I was. Kai's voice rose. You think I asked for this? But I didn't run. I stayed. Adrian stepped closer to the gate. I'm here now. Let me help. Let me be there for our child. No. The word came from Dante. Adrian's eyes narrowed. This doesn't concern you. Dante stepped forward, his presence commanding. It does when you show up at my home making demands. Kai is carrying my child. A child you abandoned. Adrian's face flushed. I'm trying to do the right thing. You're 6 months too late, Kai said firmly. I don't need you. I don't want you in my life. Adrian's expression hardened. You're making a mistake. He's a criminal, Kai. A killer. What kind of life is that for our child? Kai's hands clenched. He's been more of a father to this baby than you ever will be. He's kept me safe, cared for me, and he doesn't even share blood with this child. Adrian's jaw tightened. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret, Kai said quietly, is ever believing you loved me. Dante placed a protective hand on Kai's lower back. Leave and don't come back. Adrian stared at them both, then turned and walked away. But the look in his eyes promised this wasn't over. That night, Kai couldn't sleep. The confrontation with Adrian had shaken him more than he wanted to admit. He sat in the nursery he'd been slowly decorating, one hand on his belly. It's okay, little one, he whispered. We're safe. We have people who love us. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his abdomen. Kai gasped, gripping the chair. Another pain. Stronger this time. No, he whispered. It's too early. He tried to stand, but stumbled. Dante, within seconds. Dante burst through the door. What's wrong? The baby, something's wrong. Dante scooped him up immediately. Marco, get the doctor now. The mansion's private physician arrived within minutes. Kai was laid on the bed, trembling. The twins stood outside the door crying. Is Kai okay? Emma sobbed. A maid tried to comfort them, but they wouldn't be consoled. Inside, the doctor examined Kai carefully. After what felt like an eternity, she looked up. It's Braxton Hicks. False labor contractions. The baby is fine. Kai nearly collapsed with relief. But, the doctor continued, you're under extreme stress. Your body is reacting. You need complete rest. No more emotional upheaval. Dante's expression was grim. He'd done this. His world. His enemies. His past. It was hurting Kai after the doctor left. Kai lay in bed, exhausted. The twins had finally been allowed in. They climbed carefully onto the bed, curling up on either side of Kai. We were so scared, Mia whispered. I'm okay, Kai promised. I'm not going anywhere, promise. Emma asked. Promise. Dante stood in the doorway watching. When the twins finally fell asleep, he approached. I'm sorry, Dante said quietly. For what? For bringing you into this? For putting you at risk? Kai reached for his hand. I chose this. I chose to stay. You shouldn't have to live in fear. I'm not afraid, Kai said. Not when I'm with you. Dante's throat tightened. I'm going to end this. The threats. The danger, all of it. How? I'll handle the Castellano family permanently. Kai's eyes widened. Dante, I won't let them hurt you. Any of you. Please don't do something you'll regret. Dante leaned down, pressing his forehead to Kai's. The only thing I'd regret is losing you. 2 nights later. Kai woke to the sound of alarms. Loud, piercing, his heart raced. He struggled out of bed and ran to the twins' room. They were already awake, terrified. Kai, they screamed. He pulled them close. It's okay. I've got you. Gunfire erupted outside. Kai's blood ran cold. Marco burst into the room. Safe room now. What's happening? They're attacking the estate move. Kai grabbed the twins and followed Marco down a hidden hallway. The safe room was reinforced steel, stocked with supplies. Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone but me or the boss. Where's Dante? Kai demanded. Marco hesitated. He's handling it. The door sealed shut, and Kai was left in the dark with two terrified little girls. He held them tight, singing the lullaby over and over. Hush now, little stars. The night will keep you safe. But outside, gunfire continued, and Kai prayed Dante would survive. The safe room protected them from the attack. But when the doors finally opened, nothing would ever be the same. Kai would make a choice that would prove his love, and Dante would realize just how much he stood to lose. Part 5. The safe room door opened. Kai's breath caught. Dante stood there. Blood on his shirt, bruises forming on his face, but alive. Dante. Kai rushed forward. The twins followed, clinging to their father's legs. Papa. Dante knelt, hugging them tightly. I'm okay. Everyone's okay. But his eyes met Kai's over the girls' heads, and Kai saw the truth. This had been close. Too close. After the twins were settled back in bed, Kai and Dante stood on the balcony. The estate grounds were littered with evidence of the attack. Guards were sweeping the perimeter. It's over, Dante said quietly. The Castellano family has been dealt with. Dealt with. They won't be a threat anymore. Kai didn't ask for details. He didn't want to know. This is my life, Kai Dante continued. This is what it means to be with me. Danger, violence, uncertainty. Kai turned to face him. Are you asking me to leave? I'm giving you the choice. Kai's heart clenched. Do you want me to leave? No, Dante said immediately. But I want you to be safe. You and the baby. If that means leaving, stop. Kai stepped closer. I've been abandoned before. I know what that feels like. And this isn't that. Kai, you're not pushing me away because you don't care. You're doing it because you do, but I'm not going anywhere. Dante's expression cracked. You could have been hurt tonight. The twins could have, but we weren't. Because of you. Because you protected us. Kai took Dante's hand and placed it on his belly. This baby deserves a father, and Emma and Mia deserve to keep their family whole. And his voice broke. I deserve to be loved, and I think you do too. Dante pulled him close, burying his face in Kai's hair. I don't deserve you. Maybe not, Kai whispered, but you're stuck with me anyway. In the days that followed, something shifted. Dante stopped holding back. He courted Kai properly. Flowers appeared in Kai's room. Every morning, Dante began joining them for breakfast. For art time, for bedtime stories. One evening, he took Kai to the mansion's rooftop. String lights had been hung, a table set for two. What's this? Kai asked, surprised. A date, Dante said simply. A real one. They ate under the stars, talking about everything and nothing. Kai learned about Dante's childhood, his late wife, his fears. Dante learned about Kai's dreams, his love of teaching, his hopes for his child. I want to give them a good life, Kai said softly. A safe one. You will, Dante promised. We will. And for the first time, Kai believed it. 2 weeks later, Kai woke in the middle of the night. Not from pain, but from an overwhelming sense of need. His Omega instincts were surging. The baby would be coming soon, and his body knew it. He needed to be claimed, to be protected, to belong. Kai found Dante in his study, working late as always. Kai, what's wrong? Kai crossed the room and kissed him deeply, desperately. Dante responded immediately, pulling him close when they broke apart. Both were breathing hard. Mark, me, Kai whispered. Dante's eyes widened. Kai, I want this. I want you. Completely. Are you sure? Kai nodded. I've never been more sure of anything. Dante's alpha rose to the surface. He tilted Kai's head gently, exposing his neck. This is permanent. I know. There's no going back. I don't want to go back. Dante's canines elongated, and he bit down. The mark formed instantly. A bond snapped into place. Kai gasped. Feeling it settled deep in his soul, Dante was his dot, and he was Dante's single quotes S dot forever. 3 weeks later, Kai went into labor. Real labor this time. It started at dawn. Gentle contractions that grew stronger by noon. They were at the mansion's private medical wing. The twins were anxious. Pacing outside the room, is Kai going to be okay? Emma asked Marco. He's strong, Marco assured. He'll be fine. Inside, Kai gripped Dante's hand. I can't do this. Yes, you can. It hurts. I know. But you're the strongest person I've ever met. Hours passed. And then, finally, a cry. A baby's cry. The doctor smiled. It's a boy. Healthy and strong. Kai sobbed with relief as the baby was placed on his chest. Hi, little one, he whispered. I'm your papa. Dante stared at the tiny infant. Awe written across his face. He's perfect, Do you want to hold him? Kai asked. Dante nodded, carefully taking the baby into his arms. The infant settled immediately, eyes blinking open. Welcome to the family, Lucas, Dante said softly. When the twins were finally allowed in, they gasped. He's so tiny. Mia whispered. Can we touch him? Emma asked. Gently, Kai said. The girls carefully stroked the baby's tiny hand. Lucas wrapped his fingers around Emma's. He likes us. She squealed. Dante pulled out his phone and took a photo. His family, all of them, complete. Later that night, when everyone was asleep, Dante sat beside Kai's bed. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For giving me this, for staying, for loving my daughters like they're your own. Kai smiled. They are my own now. All of you are. Dante leaned down and kissed his forehead. I love you. It was the first time he'd said it. Kai's eyes filled with tears. I love you too. The mansion's garden was filled with laughter. Emma and Mia were chasing butterflies while Lucas sat in a playpen, giggling at them. Kai watched from a bench, Dante's arm around him. Happy? Dante asked. More than I ever thought possible, Kai admitted. Dante pulled out a small box. Then maybe you'll say yes to this. Kai's breath caught. Inside was a ring. Simple, elegant, perfect. Marry me, Dante said. Make this official. Be my Omega, my partner, my everything. Kai didn't hesitate. Yes, the twins cheered. Lucas clapped his chubby hands and Kai realized something. He'd thought his life was over when he was abandoned, but it had only just begun, because family wasn't about blood, it was about love. And he had more love than he ever dreamed possible. Months later, at the wedding, Emma and Mia stood as flower girls. Lucas was passed between guests, the center of attention, and when Dante and Kai exchanged vows, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. I promise to protect you, cherish you, and love you for the rest of my life, Dante said. I promise to stand by you, believe in you, and build a family with you that will last forever, Kai replied. They kissed, the crowd erupted in applause, and as they walked down the aisle together, surrounded by their children, Kai whispered, We made it. Dante squeezed his hand. We're just getting started. And so, the Mafia boss who had closed his heart found love again. The Omega who had been abandoned found a family, and two little girls who had lost their mama found a papa who would never leave. Because sometimes, the most broken pieces fit together to create something beautiful. Thank you for watching. If you loved this story, hit subscribe for more emotional Omegaverse tales. Comment below which moment made you cry. Part 2 coming soon when Kai's past returns with a vengeance.